This is a Rover R8, the product of a collaboration in the 1980s between Honda and Rover. But this Ronda differs a little from some other R8s because this is the much rarer 400 Tourer estate car. Even more remarkable is the man behind the wheel, because he's a man who goes under the alias of Roverman Paul, but you and I may well know him better for his YouTube channel, Project Nigel. Here I am outside Birch Motorway Services. For anyone not in the UK, these are places where weary travellers can pull up and have a meal or a cup of coffee at a grossly inflated price. But today we're here for something rather special because it's the Project Nigel meet and drive. And as I had rather expected, so far I'm the only person who has not brought an MG Rover car. We've got several people here already. Through course at day I'm hopefully going to chat with a few of them, have a look at some of the cars, and obviously we're going to take in some nice driving roads as well. Regular viewers may notice that my voice sounds a little bit different to what it does normally, and that's because I'm recovering from a cold. Now, Kev's brought a nice Rover 75, and I actually spotted this is one of the early Cowley cars because it's got the black sills along the bottom, and some in the know would argue that these were some of the better cars, or certainly the more sought after cars these days. So Kev, tell me a little bit about your Rover 75.
I've owned it just coming up short of 3 years. It's not cost me a lot of money over that time, including purchase price and a new set of wheels which are not on it yet. I just spent about 3 grand, which works out 20 quid a week. So quality motoring for 20 quid a week. Can't beat it. And
yours is a 1.8, so I understand, is that a K-Series engine?
Yeah, K-Series, naturally aspirated 1.8, yeah. It's fast enough for me, 118 horsepower.
So I think this was an SE spec car with velour interior to start with. It's actually had a leather interior upgrade. I know the dashboards on these early cars as well. Sadly, Rover suffered something called Project Drive, which was basically cost cutting, and there were certain parts of interior trim and, well, things across the whole vehicle really, where the quality of the components was perhaps reduced to cut costs, and as I say, the dashboards in these earlier cars are thought to be of better quality, and that's why people seek them out. Of course, one of my favourite cars here is Paul's Rover R8, particularly this one's actually an R8 Tourer. Now the Tourer actually came very, very late on in the life of the R8, and by which point we're actually starting to see the R3 bubble-shaped 200s and the 400 HHRs, so these actually lived on a little bit longer alongside the coupes and convertibles, which didn't have any direct replacement, because obviously the cars were very similar in terms of width. We did eventually actually start to see these cars with bubble dashes, but thankfully the one that Paul's driving still seems to have that original dash, which I much prefer in the R8s. Fantastic shade of blue as well. One thing, Rover in the 90s had some fantastic colours in their range. Really, you were spoilt for choice. This car's actually had a leather interior as well. I don't know if it came with that from you or not. I'd have to ask Paul about that. And it's actually badged a 418 SLD as well. So again, diesels in the UK were only just starting to gain popularity towards the back end of the 90s. So to find a diesel one, probably a bit harder than finding a petrol version. The plot thickens a bit in here because we've got, I said we had a leather interior, we've got leather at the front, and then we've got velour at the back, which looks like the SLI trim. So I think SLD was the diesel equivalent of an SLI. We do have a bit of that headlining sag, but that's quite common with these cars. Mentioned the HHR, we've got a couple of 45s here, which were basically the evolution of the 400 series. This one obviously much like a car, we can tell with those headlights, this red one here, this being an earlier 45, which has still got the separate round headlamps on. A couple more 75s, we've got a Tourer here. This one on the end, quite an interesting car as well. This is actually a turbo, so obviously we had a normally aspirated 1.8, there was the V6 versions as well. This one's 1.8 turbo. Now, to what I understand, I think the 1.8 turbos are a little bit scarcer than some of the other versions, so quite interesting to see that one. So of course I'm the imposter this morning, been here in the only car that's not an MG Rover. Most of the cars we've seen so far have been Rovers. This one's actually an MG, so we've got the MG ZR. Obviously these were based on the R3 platform, or the Rover 200 and Rover 25. I've just had a chat with the owner of this car. Apparently this colour is called Lagoon, and it's one of Rover's monogram colours. Now the monogram colours were sort of a bit of an additional extra and quite a desirable upgrade to your MG Rover back in the day. This colour, apparently there was very few. I think the owner said about 30 odd produced, of which there are very, very few left. We're not 100%, but we think it could potentially be the last 5-door variant surviving, so yeah, you never know what you're going to see at events like this. We've had a few more arrivals, another 75, a later one here, a nice interesting number plate for that car. Yeah, so car park's filling out, and I think I can just see an MGF coming in. Those parked over there, so probably ain't even with us, but what are the odds? Now with a few minor celebrities in our midst today, some obviously a bit more minor than others. So behind me here we have Mr. Allegro Man, who I've not previously met, but he has endured lunch in the caravan, same as I did, so anyone who watched those videos...
Right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And obviously Paul, who you all know, who I must admit, this is the smartest I've ever seen you dress, Paul.
Yes, because you've not seen me very often.
No.
You're getting closer all the time. You said you didn't want to spread your plague, and now you keep coming close to me.
I was stood here, you walked over here.
That's true. It's my fault.
Yeah, it's his
if I
fault.
get ill, it's because of me.
It
He
is.
just wants to look like Miss Gene Hunt in his jacket. That's
Gene
what
Hunt.
it is. What is the jacket?
And then a bit further up the scale on celebrity status, that MGF that came in, that's Mr. Steve Berry, formerly of Top Gear back in the 1990s. Not actually had a chat with Steve yet. He's gone in search of food. He may well die of shock when they present him with the bill.
Something you do regularly. Right, chaps, for everyone who's doing the convoy, Allegro Man is going to lead it, and I'd like you all to stay behind him. That's it.
Hang on, you said you were going to overtake the lot.
Yeah, except for me.
You're going to overtake all of us.
And Mark. Mark's going to go off ahead as well.
Right.
So just ignore him.
Yeah.
Don't worry about him. I'm going to go off ahead. I'm going to shoot past, go off ahead, and then stop and film everyone going by. And then
I
just
need
get
to
back.
let yous overtake me as well, even though I'm leading it first.
Yeah, you're going to lead.
Yeah.
I'm going to go last,
Yeah.
and then I'll just gun past you all.
Yeah.
And
That's
then-
before
and then
you get off the motorway.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
In 15 minutes.
In 15 minutes, yeah.
Gosh, I tell you what, you've done wrong with it. Have I?
That fucking hat. Oh, hang on. I'm going to stand back. I know you like
Oh,
it
he's
better.
here. Hiya. I went wrong way twice.
How?
I came off the
There's
jump.
only two ways you can go.
Okay.
It's not like there are any other options, is there?
Yeah, just in the nick of time before we were ready to depart, we had one last vehicle come in to join our convoy. Simon from Smashing Pistons in the Rover P4, affectionately known as Jesse. Now this car actually belongs to Alex from Alex's Assets. Simon's actually looking after it for a little while on her behalf. Yeah, really nice to see this car again. I actually saw it at Rustival early last year, and I must admit I'm quite envious of Simon actually having this car in his possession. I would love a go in a P4 ever since I sat in one a few years ago at an event. We did have a few other cars that pulled in, some more MG Rover cars naturally. We've also got a BMW 5 Series over there. and a Subaru Impreza, which joined us rather recently. Now we're getting rather close to 11 o'clock, and I know Paul is thinking about obviously moving on, so we'll pick this up on the road. Well, it's a nice sight ahead as our convoy pulls out. We're sadly already interrupted by a hideous modern hybrid SUV thingamajig. Now we'll make sure we go out the right way. It's amazing, well, we've been here this morning actually, in space of an hour, how many people we've seen attempt to join the motorway in the wrong direction. Never something you really want to do. We've also seen a dead deer on the motorway this morning as well, just before I exited into services. Now when I left home this morning, I actually had my sunglasses on. Over in West Yorkshire, the sun was shining. As I approached the border though, the sky turned black, and I'm just hoping that the weather stays fine today. Very unusual actually for me. Normally when I'm in the services, I'm parked over there in the lorry park. Man's leading the convoy today, and to what I understand we're going to take a nice sort of steady 60 mph along the M62. I'm at 70, so I should easily be able to catch everyone up, in theory. So far though, I only seem to have seen one vehicle, a little bit concerning. Traffic's really backing up on the other side of the road now. That's where I actually passed the deer. It was just before services on the opposite side of the road, so yeah, I feel sorry for whoever's stuck in that this morning. And of course for the deer. At least we seem to have caught up with our convoy anyway, so we've got the 5 Series here, so 525D. Got a later Rover 45 hatchback. Oh, and yeah, probably now my new favourite car on this convoy today. We're coming up on Simon in Alex's rather majestic looking P4, and in that fantastic hat as well. What a stunning machine. Well, this is a problem I hadn't foreseen. I thought I'll come along lane 2, pass all the traffic, and I'll get some nice shots of the cars. The problem I've got is there's a truck ahead, and if I pull out to pass the truck, I'm going to miss the bulk of the convoy. If I don't, well, I could potentially be stuck back here until we reach our exit. Oh, how I have had a taste of my own medicine, and it is bitter. I've got Paul in the Rover who's just come by. Like myself, Paul's trying to get ahead so that he can get a few shots of the cars further down the road. Already we've been to some pretty spectacular scenery here. It's a good thing when you come out to places like these, you're never left disappointed. Well, I'm not entirely sure what's happened, but pulled up to get some more drive-by shots. Paul went by me, and I thought, oh, the rest of the convoy won't be far behind. And I've been waiting about 10 minutes. So, I hope they haven't had any issues. I know Simon was a bit worried about Jesse coping on some of the hills. So I'm going to move on a bit further down, and because I know there are a few cars that have already gone through. And yeah, just making my way towards the rendezvous, I think. Now, the stop wasn't completely in vain. I did see, well, not only an MGF come through that actually isn't with this convoy, we also saw an Audi Quattro and got a thumbs up from the driver as well, which were nice. You know, I'm thankful of my little 14-inch wheels that are not on low profile tyres coming down this road, because it's certainly a rather badly scarred stretch of road. You can see the surface is worn in really badly in a lot of places, and there's a fair few potholes as well. Still no sign of the convoy catching up in the rear view mirror. I think not much further down here we'll actually be turning off onto another road. Not been this route before myself. Now Paul tells me it's quite a tight turn as well onto this next stretch of road. Now I know the route that Paul's taking us on. I actually came this next stretch of road. I've been up from the other end when I came over to see Paul last year. Now that's a video that's in my latest members vlog. Again, members vlogs, $2.99 a month, cheaper than your average cup of coffee these days. Certainly cheaper than it probably was in that service station we've just been to this morning. And obviously with that you get early access to certain videos such as the car reviews, and of course exclusive members only vlogs where you see a lot of behind the scenes things that you wouldn't ordinarily get to see. I think we've reached our turn. Jeez, Paul did say it were tight. It looks like he weren't kidding. Well, thankfully most of the cars on this convoy this morning are modern enough that they've got power steering, all barring one car of course. Yep, I think Simon's going to be getting a workout in that P4 when he gets to this point of the route. Well, we appear to have a beautiful stretch of road ahead of us. Sadly it's spoiled by some temporary traffic lights and quite a bit of traffic in front of me. Oh well. Well, they didn't let very many cars through. Now some of the cars seem to have made it here to the rendezvous point. There's a few that I've not seen though, but I'm not entirely sure if some were planning to drop off or if they've just been held up somewhere. So yeah, obviously everyone's just gathering, having a bit of a chat, quick bite to eat as you do, and yeah, seems quite a popular lay-by actually up here. A lot of people stopping up here, people going hiking and various other things. Right guys? But yeah, it's all happening here today.
There you go, make yourself comfortable in there, Johnny.
I only ever eat jelly snakes in the back of a 400 Tourer. It's the best place to eat them.
I thought they had a special shelf up back at car for those.
They usually get drunk before you can get to them.
Navigational error?
Yeah. By a local map.
Well, they are at the back.
So how many people have gone on this other convoy then? The alternative convoy.
The alternative convoy.
The lad in the BMW. And then.
No.
Yeah. But he just carried on going up the motorway in. We went up past Huddersfield and everything. We must have done about 4 or 5 miles past it.
Yeah.
Well, that explains why I was waiting 10-15 minutes and nobody went past me then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that didn't turn.
So that's the climax of the Project Nigel drive out, where a load of us met up, some of us made it here, and I got to talk to a load of guys smoking weed.
Oh, that's what you were doing.
Yeah.
Right. You thought he looks like the kind of man who look, there's a man with a camera there. Let's get our joints out and have a little bit of a good crack out, shall we?
And on that bombshell, I think it's time we're probably better off wrapping this one up. As always, like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully the next video will be better. Thanks for watching. Well, look who's just turned up. Oh, you're alive.
Yeah, I am alive. Yeah.
We're getting a bit worried.
Yeah, I went for petrol.
Yeah, I've had a film spit on my phone because everyone went home and I put cameras away because I thought it was all over. Where did you put petrol?
Well, I was driving along on M1. 62, isn't it? And then I thought, no, I've not seen anybody turn off yet. So, and I thought, no, I'm going to get lost here, so I might as well put more petrol in so there were services like 3 miles along.
Right, so you didn't go back home for some Yorkshire petrol?
No, not Yorkshire petrol. That car don't like Yorkshire petrol.
Doesn't like Yorkshire petrol? What a peculiar car.